Hey there, it's Dr. Mary Barbera here for our day 27 of 30 of our Facebook and YouTube live sessions, all in anticipation of my brand new book coming out this Tuesday, March 30th. So if you haven't gotten your hands on it yet, I would recommend that you go to the link right on the screen, turnautismaround.com, and you can order. You can get all the bonuses, the pre-order bonuses. You can get all the book resources. I'm going to show you some things today in the book that you can get as PDFs, as printable downloads. So today we are covering self-care skills and the importance of teaching them. So we have somebody from Ohio. I recognize the name. So let me get our other friends on and we will get rolling with this presentation. I'm kind of excited because I haven't really talked about self-care skills and we need to. So, okay, I think we are live. This is Dr. Mary Barbera and I am coming to you live from my home in Pennsylvania. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday evening. Big Saturday night. I feel like I don't have any plans ever anymore with COVID. So, but it gives me a chance, it gave me a chance to write my book, and now it's giving me a chance to come on live every single day with you in preparation for my book. So we have Lily Daisy here. Awesome. And I am going to cover self-care skills today, meaning how do you assess and teach things like toothbrushing, hand washing, dressing, bathing, showering, eating with utensils, drinking from an open cup. Just a wide range of skills that kids need. Kids with autism need, typically developing kids need, and it's really important not just for life skills. It really does impact the placements, the places you can take your child, the care that you can get. So I am all about improving self-care skills. And while my first book, The Verbal Behavior Approach, is a lot of language, Turn Autism Around is a lot of language too. That there are also chapters on the signs of autism, advocacy. There's two chapters on talking, one on reducing tantrums. And then there's chapters on eating, sleeping, potty training, going to the doctor's, dentist, haircuts without a fuss. And there's also chapters on assessment and planning. So I was fortunate because I have online courses, and I see if you're here, I would love it if you would introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know where you're viewing from. We have Lily Daisy here from Australia. She has made just about every one of my lives, even though she's on the opposite side of the world, 27 days straight. She's been here. And she's also in my book launch team group as well as on my online community. And Nadia's here from the UK, and it's 11 o'clock your time. Well, I'll give you some things to think about while you drift off into sleep. Yanette, aloha. I'm assuming maybe Hawaii is in the house. Orlando, Florida. Excellent. Gorgeous Whale says, I'm definitely working on self-care with my 8-year-old. It's challenging every day, but of course we get it done. Does behavior management come under self-care or safety? We use ABA, Principles of Applied Behavior Analysis, which is the science of changing behaviors to increase behaviors we want, like talking, self-care, leisure, vocational skills as children get older, safety skills for sure at any age. And then we also use that to reduce problem behaviors. My approach, my Turn Autism Around approach, is a 4-step approach: assessment, planning, intervening, and using easy data to evaluate the situation. It's a child-friendly, positive approach, and we do talk quite a bit about self-care in my book. So even if you have a child who's older, like somebody here who has an 8-year-old, this book is going to be really helpful because I am a registered nurse and a behavior analyst and a mom, both to a son with autism as well as a typically developing son. I've spent my whole career over the past 2 decades, more than 2 decades, working with thousands of kids, either in person, one-to-one, or online. I'm delivering online courses. And part of the real magic of my online courses is my assessment, planning, intervening, and evaluating self-care skills. And I use Mark Sundberg, who wrote the foreword for my first book. He's a well-known behavior analyst, Dr. Mark Sundberg, and he wrote the BB MAP assessment. But he also created a couple of supplements to the BB MAP, which aren't published in the BB MAP, but they're really, really important. Namely, the self-care checklist and the intraverbal subtest, which maybe I'll cover. Maybe tomorrow I'll cover the intraverbal subtest. It's kind of an advanced thing that I don't really talk about in my book, but I definitely talk about the self-care checklist. And Dr. Sundberg gave me permission to publish parts of his self-care checklist right within my book. So I'm going to pull up my camera and I'm going to show you some things. So if you are joining us, let us know where you're viewing from, if you're a parent, professional, grandparent. And somebody wants to know, how can I join the courses? You can go to marybarbera.com/courses. It's right on my website. You can also take an online workshop, a free online workshop, to see if the courses are right for you. I have quite a bit of material on self-care skills in my courses as well. In fact, I was just reviewing videos within my online course today, and I have video examples of teaching kids to dress themselves. I even have a video of my son Lucas from the waist up, from here up. It's showing you how we managed to get him to take a shower independently. And so we really want to keep our eyes wide open. And it's really important that kids get these skills. They not only tolerate the skills, but they do them easily without a fuss, and that there's no tantrums. Because if a child is having a tantrum over brushing their teeth, or they're not independent with washing hands, those are going to impact his day. They're going to impact whether or not he can go to daycare, whether he can progress up. I mean, there's also skills like eating, potty training, which are just so important for progression as much as possible in the least restrictive environment. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of my book. There's a couple pages which have parts of the self-care checklist that I thought you would enjoy. We have Wendy, who is a top fan. I don't know how you get top fan status, but thank you for being a top fan. Indiana mom and soon to be BCBA. Awesome. I did write an article called The Experiences of Autism Mothers Who Become Behavior Analysts, a qualitative study. You can search for that and find it. It's online for free. It's a really good one. Nadia said, my 2-year-old just got her assessment appointment for the 23rd of April. Is it a one-day assessment or following several sessions? I have no idea. It depends. Depends on what they're testing and all that. Gina from Georgia, behavior therapist and mother of a daughter with nonverbal learning disorder. Miami, Florida. I got a couple of Floridians here. All right. So I did a little searching, and I came up with the pages which are the parts with the self-care checklist. So I'm going to show you these. These are also, when you go to turnautismaround.com, it's actually going to redirect you to my Mary Barbera website, but it'll give you actually the book page. And you'll see a button for buy the book, and you'll also see a button for book resources. So to get all of these assessments and all of these grids and all of these graphs, forms you can fill out. You would just need to give us your name and email address, and we will email you. And that is going to be, like throughout the book, I say go to turnautismaround.com for a sample assessment, a blank assessment. It's really going to, it is an action guide. That's the subtitle. An action guide for parents of young children with early signs of autism. So it's really for parents of kids ages 1 to 5 who are showing early signs of autism. But it's also going to be really helpful for parents of older kids who are functioning in some levels under the age of 5, not conversational, having problem behaviors, having issues with sleep, potty, all of these things. So it's going to help kids with a wide variety of ages and ability levels. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so this is page 51, and this is in the chapter on an easy assessment to figure out your starting point. So in chapter 4, I have the one-page Turn Autism Around assessment form, which should take you about 10 minutes to complete. Again, you'll be able to go to turnautismaround.com, download the blank one, actually fill it out as a fillable PDF, and you'll also get a sample of one filled out already out. And then we talk about doing this one-page assessment form, doing 2 videos so you can get baseline videos, and then doing a language sample. And in addition, we talk about looking at self-care. So in this Turn Autism Around assessment form, we do right here, we start with safety awareness concerns is here. Then we go down to describe eating and drinking patterns. Please indicate if the child can feed self, what texture types of foods he or she eats. Also list issues with bottles, pacifiers, utensils, or straws. That's what that says. I don't know if I bring it closer, yeah, that's actually better. Okay, and I'll try to hold real still while I talk. Okay, describe sleeping patterns, potty, toileting issues, grooming, dressing issues, brushing teeth, washing hands. Okay, so that area is like you fill that out super quick. But then you also want to download Mark Sundberg's self-care checklist, which I talk about. And here I give it's a 4-part checklist. So it's dressing is one part, and that's what we go over here. Dressing, feeding, potty training, and grooming. So I give you the 1-page, and I talk about like if a child can't pull their socks off, which is an 18-month-old skill, then you can't really, or you shouldn't really work on putting shoes on, because that is a 30-month skill. So you want to get the 18-month skills down pat. So first we need to make sure the child can pull a hat off, pull socks off, pull mittens off, pull shoes off, coat off, pulls pants down, may need assistance with unbuttoning and unzipping, pulls pants up, may need help getting it over the diaper. And then we go down to more of the putting things on your body. But you see there are 30 months and there are 18 months of skills. Now, a lot of 3 and 4-year-old children who are on the spectrum or having some kind of developmental delay cannot even do the 18-month skills. And this might be like, whoa, I don't want to know how far behind, but knowledge is power, and that's what we go over in the assessment. I talk about all 4 parts, and then later in the book, in this chapter, is all about solving picky eating. And here we reprint just the first 2 sections of the feeding self-care checklist by Dr. Mark Sundberg. Eats finger foods, these are 18-month skills, drinks from a cup, uses a spoon to scoop food, and sucks from a straw. And the vast majority of my past clients, as well as the online participants' kids, if they are not talking or not conversational when they're supposed to be, they almost always have problems, are addicted to pacifiers, bottles, spill-proof sippy cups, and they are not eating with utensils or drinking from an open cup or through a straw. Some are, but these are the skills we need to work on first and foremost, and then we work on utensil use and those sorts of things. Unwrapping partially open food packaging and those sorts of things. Now, if your child goes to daycare, they will be monitoring this, because these are milestones that they're looking for. But a lot of kids, especially with the pandemic, are not going to preschools and daycares as much as they used to. Okay, and then finally, the last self-care checklist that we reprint, and we reprinted actually all 3 sections of the potty training one, which is 24 months, not 18 months. We start with these. And pulling pants up and down, remaining dry for 2 hours, can sit still for 2 minutes at a time. So if you don't have these skills in place, then I would suggest you work on really more of the dressing skills, which we talk about all throughout the book. Then we go to 36 months is for wipes and pulls underwear up and down and washes hands with assistance. And then by 48 months, they should be really nighttime trained and doing the whole bathroom routine by themselves. So these self-care checklists are just so important, and I'm so thrilled that Dr. Mark Sundberg has agreed to let me republish them and utilize them, because it is a big part of my online courses, and I know it's a big part of trying to help each child. It's not like you can just focus on language and problem behavior. You have to focus on self-care skills. Actually, if you bring a 3 or 4-year-old into a psychologist for IQ testing, a lot of their cognitive ability is going to be based on how far ahead, or how, if they're very far behind, if they're 4 years old and not even sitting on the potty or not even sitting at a table for 2 minutes, that is going to indicate, or really skew the scores to make it look like there's a major cognitive problem going on. Whereas it's not just functional and better for the child and better for the family to get them caught up in these skills as much as possible. It's also better for their scoring, better for inclusion opportunities. If you have a 6-year-old or 8-year-old who's not potty trained, then that's going to be a problem probably to have a lot of inclusion in school. It could be stigmatizing to the child. It could just be like, I remember when Lucas went to typical preschool with a therapist, but the therapist wasn't an aide, so she really wasn't allowed to change his diaper. So a 2-year-old class, it's okay not to be potty trained, but in the 3-year-old class, you had to be potty trained, and then who can change the diaper? It just turns into a real mess. So if there are questions about any of that I covered, hopefully you can see the real value of my book. And if you haven't pre-ordered, if you have pre-ordered, let me know in the comments, except for Lily, Daisy, and you guys that are on the launch team that are coming to a lot. I know you've pre-ordered. Somebody just left they read the first 3 chapters because they're part of my launch team, and they said this is going to be a Bible. This is going to be the book that is a real Bible for families. And I truly do believe that. And I wanted to touch on self-care skills tonight, because that is a big part of the book. And as a nurse, as a behavior analyst, I am a strong proponent that we can't just work on labeling, and we can't just work on problem behaviors. We've got to work on the whole situation. There's a question, stem cell does help does it help children with autism? I don't get into any of that, other treatments. I talk about the 4-step turn autism around approach, my background as a nurse, as a behavior analyst. We're not talking about everything under the sun that could potentially be helpful. I have zero knowledge of that. I also wanted to write the book to be very good for the future. So there's not a whole lot in here that is not going to, no, I don't think there's anything in here that's not going to be accurate in 5 or 10 years down the line. And that's the way I wrote my first book, which was published in 2007 and is still selling better than ever. So, okay. Anybody, Yannette said, I pre-ordered and I'm very excited because my son is 11 and I'm really focusing on self-care skills. Excellent. Yeah, and I don't think I covered that on any of my lives so far. So I'm glad that I thought to cover it today. Potty training will be sometime this year. Yeah, remember your little guy is only 2, so don't push it. Start pairing the potty, yes, but pushing hard for a delayed child who's functioning in some areas a lot younger. I wouldn't focus too much on potty training. There are some courses though that like potty training your baby, and there's ways to do it. So I would say, even if you have a 2-year-old, get a little potty, have it in the bathroom, practice sitting for 2 minutes when you get up, before bath. It can't hurt. And maybe you'll get some luck. Miriam is another top fan, excellent, from Georgia. I'm an SLP in schools and grandmother to a boy with autism. Well, thanks for being here. We have a ton of gung-ho grandmas in our book launch team, as well as in our online courses too. So always love our gung-ho grandmas, and you're an SLP too, so that's excellent. I'm sure the book will be super helpful to you. Lily Sweet said, my daughter is 5 years old, just diagnosed. My 8-year-old is not potty trained, so the book is good. Does your book cover self-injurious behaviors? Yep, sure does. Yeah, Kirsty said, I would be interested to know about pathology demanding avoidance, please. Yeah, I never heard of that up until a couple of years ago. And I'm a board certified behavior analyst. That seems to be a big thing in the UK. It sounds like oppositional defiant disorder, but I would be hard pressed to say, like, I wouldn't worry about what the diagnosis is. If your child is delayed, we assess how far delayed they are, look at milestones, look at where their child is at in every area. We do the 1-page assessment, we do the self-care checklist, we take data on problem behaviors, then we make a plan, we make sure goals are good, then we intervene and we keep data. Like, I don't care what you call it. I don't care if it's severe ADHD, if it's oppositional defiant, if it's sensory processing, if it's anxiety, if it's a speech delay, or if it's autism. These procedures will work. If your child is not conversational, having problem behaviors, and or has problems with eating, sleeping, potty training, going to the doctor's, dentist, haircuts, there is nothing in this book that is not as child friendly, it is positive, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just great ways to engage children, great ways to break things down, make it simple, work on the right skills in the right order. So I would not get too caught up in what's it called and will this work for this diagnosis? Yes. So I do have a whole chapter on safety as well. We have Los Angeles and Brooklyn, New York. I've been both of those places. All right. Let me see if I have any more questions. I just got Lucas a new 300-piece map puzzle when I was at TJ Maxx this evening, so he is out doing his puzzle. He's great at puzzles and he enjoys them. I would not be very good at doing a 300-piece The trick for us was to get rid of the pull-ups. We went 3 weeks straight, no underwear or pull-ups, only to bed, and he didn't like the pee hitting his leg. And then daycare helped to potty train. Yeah, I mean, you have to see, like, because you can't send the child to daycare naked, obviously. You can't send them outside. And I do have strategies that are child friendly, and sometimes for each individual family, they find a trick, they find something that's really motivating. Um, yeah. Uh, My child is 6 and he was potty trained, but he has been having accidents recently. Do I have to start training him again or will he remember? Um, I would definitely get the book. I do talk about this other book in the potty training chapter. It's called It's No Accident, and it's by a pediatric urologist who's a pee doctor, but he has a clinic in South Carolina, I think, and he has found that kids that have accidents almost always, pee accidents, are almost always constipated and impacted with stool. And so his book really talks about the importance of making sure a child goes poop once or twice a day, and that's the consistency of mashed sweet potatoes. If it's not, they are probably impacted. Even if they go every day, if it's not smooth and it's not consistent, there's a good chance that they might have some constipation. Could also be other things like transitioning to a new school, being over reliant on a schedule. There could be a lot of things. So not that you have to like start from scratch, but you definitely have to assess when the accidents are happening, how many times a day, how many times a week. Is he constipated? Assess the poop, assess when the accidents happen, and then you have to make a plan to get those accidents gone. Will you accept a live call one day? I have been doing calls with our launch team, and I am probably going to do an event, like a live virtual event at some point coming up. So make sure you sign up for our email at turnautismaround.com. You'll get the PDF with all the resources of the book. And then you'll also get on our email list to invite you to any live presentations. Okay. All right, let me just check one more thing. Okay, so Nicole said, my 2-year-old is going to ABA. I was going to start him also in occupational therapy with sensory therapy with another therapist. Will that backfire, as I was told that the techniques are the opposite of ABA? Thank you. Looking forward to read your book. I don't think you have to worry. It's not definite that it's going to be an opposite situation. I do have a few video blogs. So if you search Mary Autism Sensory, you can watch my video blogs on is it sensory or is it behavior, and are sensory rooms okay, and that sort of thing. If you follow, and you're going to read my book, if you follow the book, you will figure out what professionals you need. And hopefully you can get the professionals to read the book or take my online courses too. And a good professional, I have a podcast with my friend who's an occupational therapist, Dory Blanchet. You can listen to that. It doesn't have to be an opposite kind of thing, but if the OT is reinforcing problem behaviors, then you're probably going to get more problem behaviors. So it doesn't have to be all ABA or a mixture. You just have to find people who are going to let you be a part of it, so that the child is not getting, well, I do this when this person comes, and now I'm like, it's a free-for-all when this person comes. It's not good for the child. Alrighty, well, I am going to go check on Lucas. because he's doing his puzzle. We have somebody from Scotland. I haven't been to Scotland. I've been close, though. I've been to Austria, Vienna, Germany. Been close, not to Scotland yet. Does your book cover autistic children involved with hitting? Yes, we cover hitting. I also have a video blog if you want to search Mary Autism Hitting. You can watch that in the next couple of days. So my book comes out so we have, today is Saturday. We have Sunday and Monday. So we only have 2 more days and the book is out Tuesday. If you ordered it on Kindle and Audible, you'll get it right away. If you ordered it in hardback, hopefully it's on its way to you. A few people have gotten it in other countries, like somebody from New Zealand and South Korea already got their hardback. It's already mailed to them. Hopefully you'll get it real soon. If you do, if you can read it as quickly as possible or even skim it and write an Amazon review, that would be awesome. I need to get as many positive Amazon reviews out of the gate as possible. My goal is 1,000 in the next 6 weeks. So I'm counting on you. If you are tuning in, listening to me live all these days, if you are reading the book, if you're part of my online courses or launch team, or even if you're not, I would love it if you would leave a review. So that's it. I have a couple more days and it is going to be out into the world. I'm super excited. I think it's going to help a lot of people, and hopefully you enjoyed this session tonight talking all about self-care skills. I will be on tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday as well for my 30 days of live. So have a great night. Don't forget, turnautismaround.com for all the book details. You can watch a little video about the book. You can sign up, you can order the book, and you can also sign up for all those bonuses and book resources, like all those self-care checklists that we talked about tonight. So thanks a lot. Have a good one. Bye.